In a world where hope often whispers and hardship speaks louder, there are places where dreams are not just delayed, they are almost forgotten. In the heart of northern Nigeria, where resilience is a way of life, a quiet movement began not with noise, not with applause, but with a decision. A decision to act. Not all heroes stand on stages. Some walk into communities others overlook, some listen where others pass by, and some build where nothing seems to exist. This is the story of Danladi, the founder of Danladi Foundation. Not just an organization, but a bridge between struggle and possibility.
I schooled in the village, a typical village, so from then I begin to understand hardship at the basic and grassroots level. So from then it begins to shape my mentality that if I don't study hard and change the future, I'm going to remain in the village, and the same cycle is going to continue with my children and my family. My dad was educated. My dad was through the rank to become a director, but we started in the village first. So that actually shaped me. I understand the challenges of village setting. I understand that issues that people don't go to school. I understand the challenges that widows face in the village. I understand the challenges that young girls face in the village, ranging from the out-of-school girls to early girl child marriage and child labor. So that is actually what shaped me to establish this NGO. That okay, I made it a point of duty that if God bless me, I'm going to change the narrative. I know it's not easy, but a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step.
Before the impact, before the recognition, there was a beginning. Danladi was born on July 14, 1982, in Java local government area of Kaduna State. He attended LEA Primary School Samangida, where life was simple, but the lessons were lasting. Growing up in the village did more than just shaping his childhood. It shaped his vision, a vision built on impact, sustainability, and on lifting others.
The NGO was set up in 2014, and initially we were focused on widows and community development. That's reaching out to IDPs camp. If there's any attack in any community, we visit those communities. Kaduna State, we started Kaduna State, then we extended to other parts. So in Kaduna State, then we visited Sanga local government areas to support them with materials. We visited Kajuru Chikun local government areas to support them with materials and relief materials. We also support widows across the state, i.e. during Christmas season we support widows with palliatives when we first started, and during Salah season we also support widows and the less privileged with Ramadan food. That is how we started. So gradually, after 2 years, we stepped up and moved into school projects. With that school project, we were able to launch 10,000 exercise books, and we shared across primary school and secondary school in Kaduna State then. So we now realize that books alone is not going to solve the issue of education. But some students, of course, the book helps to cushion the effect of hardship because their parents would not be able to buy those books, but with the books they will go to school. We now launch an initiative to support them when it comes to JAM. So from that period till now, we have sponsored over 1,000 people with JAM across Kaduna State, because we are not focused on one region, we are focused on the entire region. The NGO is not a religious NGO, so because we have coordination between Christian, Muslims, and those people who are just believe on other religions. So that's how we launch our initiatives. And we find out that before that, a lot of students just end at primary school level, or some tend to move to NCE. But when we launch our initiative, we find out that we have a lot of students in universities today. I have their statistics here that we have a lot of them in federal universities. Some have graduated, some are still there. If the initiative is sustainable, because we have a sustainability plan for it. Even this week, we have about 350 students that will be writing JAM under our own support initiative. I want to also use this privilege to wish them all the success in their exams.
For many widows, life after loss becomes a silent struggle. But here, that story is changing. Through empowerment initiatives, cash grants of 25,000 naira are more than support. They are a second chance. A chance to rebuild, to restart, to reclaim their dignity.
Duk abin da ya ci ma gwamnati da marayu muna ce mun gode mishi. Allah ya raya shi, Allah sa fi haka. Akwai wa'anda a garin nan wa'anda kalle ma bai kai su kudi ba amma ba su a taimakon mu. Amma gashi kalbe ya zo yana goya mu. Muna ce ma kalle mun gode. Allah ya kara mishi mutunci, Allah ya kara mishi girma. Kalle wannan abin da yake mana ya dauki gadon baban shi ne. Kuma idan Allah ya sa kalab zai fi baban shi, muna gode mishi, Allah ya raya shi, Allah ya bar mu tare da shi. Kalafa muna jin daɗin shi, marayu da gwamraye a garin nan ba wanda suke ji da shi kamar kalab. In mun ji an ce kalab ya zo, sai mu ji kamar Allah mu ne ya sauko. In an ce kalab, akwai matan da ta zo ta same ni, ta ce mun hajiya, na ce na'am. Ta ce wai dan Allah kalab ɗin nan da yake taimako mu bai zo ba ne? Na ce mata zai zo, karki damu zai zo. Sai gashi Allah ya kawo mana Caleb, muna ce ma Allah mun gode ma Allah, mun gode ma Caleb, Allah ya raya shi, Allah ya sa ya fi haka.
Every day I always pray for Caleb Zagi because of what he is doing to us. I always tell my God I have nothing to give him, only God will provide for that man and he will stay, he will live. God said that every human being will spend 120 years. And I know he will spend that years because of what he is doing with widow and orphans. Because God always answers the prayer of widow. I pray for him, God will take him. Oh, you see, there are many people have money, but they don't care of widow. We will carry our problem with them. They will say, go, tomorrow we will see what you will do. And they will not do anything. They will leave us behind. Most especially I myself, I carry my problem to one of man. I call him, say, help me so that I'll get money to even do awara, so that I'll get money every day. He said, okay. Since then, this is 3 years now. Do not give me anything. I just forget of him. But I always pray for Caleb Zegi so that God will protect him because of what he is doing to us.
In fact, he's a God-sent person. It's not like, just as one of our chiefs said, not like the politicians, that they will go and get to come and give us. No, he is waiting. It is out of his pocket, out of his sweat, that he always give out to widows. And we really say he is a God-sent person.
The condition of widows in this community is so pathetic. But we thank God with the Caleb Foundation. I think he has done so much well that he's boosting the morale of all the widows. They are having a sense of belonging. So we are so much grateful. That's why you can see many of them have come. This has been a usual routine with him. He does it almost every now and then.
On the International Day of the Girl Child, a powerful message is carried forward. Educate a girl and you educate a generation. Through awareness on personal hygiene and the importance of education, young girls are discovering their value and to voice their minds.
I feel very happy and I appreciate him because we are not expecting somebody to just come and give us pad. There are some of us here that are menstruating presently and they don't have pad. Some of them does not have money to buy pad. But with this visitation now, I know that they are very happy because of they have gotten pad to use, and I know that they will pray so that God will continue bringing you guys, you people to us, so that people will touch our lives and will know how to keep ourselves from being dirty. Because without this pad now, some people will want to go and use tissue papers or use rags, which is not hygienic. But with this pad and the encouragement we have received today, I believe and I pray that all of us will know how to use sanitary pad and will know the importance of using it.
On the issue of girl child education and boy child, we don't just base our program on only girl child, but we also support child education. But the emphasis we had on girls because we realized that girls are always at a disadvantage. Most of them don't go to school, and there's this common stereotype that boys are supposed to go to schools, girls are supposed to remain at home. So I took it upon myself. I went around, I visited churches, I went to mosques, I sat down with the imams, I sat down with the pastors, and we had discussion about the way forward. How do we be able to address this issue of out of school girls? How do we be able to address this early girl child marriage, which has been an issue particularly in northern Nigeria today? And then I was able to buy into their idea, and then we all come to a final resolution that in those particular areas they will not marry off any girl at a tender age, and they will ensure that girls go to school. So I now look at it, okay, we have achieved one now. How do we ensure that these girls go to school? It's by providing them with uniforms, by ensuring that we enroll them back to classroom, by sensitizing them. So this initiative is not only in Kaduna State, but we brought it to Abuja. So we started in a village called Capt. NTA were there, so they did a good job for us. We celebrated the International Girls Child Day there in Capt. So we had discussion with the religious leaders there, the traditional leaders. We went to the school, we raised awareness in the school. We also went back to the palace of the district head. We discussed with him, and he gave us go ahead to do the girl child day. We brought menstrual pads to them. They teach them how to use menstrual pad. We have people that talk to them about schools, and it was a success.
At the end of each year, when many are left behind, the foundation reaches out. On one of its projects, such as medical outreach programs, they provide basic health care to elderly men and women, while food support is extended to vulnerable families, reducing hardship and restoring hope.
When it comes to our initiative, we prioritize everybody. We make sure that we prioritize health, education, then when it comes to entrepreneur. It not just mean that they are not important, but in our layer of priority. However, we have a plan. We have a strategic plan. But in that strategic plan, we didn't put it in order of priority. We put it, okay, in this section, we are going to do X, Y, Z. In this phase, we are going to do X, Y, Z. That is what we are doing. Sustainability is key. However, training people is very, very difficult. You might train people today, and when you train these people today, and then you give them, let's say, sewing machines or computers, and what happens? If they cannot afford school fees, they sell it off. So you must have a model in place to continue to checkmate these people. Otherwise, you are just training them and you are leaving them. There's a popular saying that you cannot employ a hungry person. You start with stomach infrastructure first. But the important model we have is to teach them how to fish and not to keep giving them fish. That being said, we still give out. In December, I distributed 1,000 bags of rice. Even last week, I distributed 100 bags of rice. During Ramadan, I still distributed food. So that we cannot take it away. It's something that we'll just do it once in a while to cushion the effect.
In a similar manner, a gap between dreams and reality is opportunity. And here, that gap was bridged. A new door opened through a JAM sponsorship scheme, giving students the chance to sit for the exam and rewrite their futures.
Our focus now is mostly on girls and child education because we realize that most of the girls are extremely brilliant, but there's no opportunity for them to move forward. So last year I went to visit the hospital to donate some hospital materials, and I decided to visit a couple of primary schools in Jaba local government. And I found out that if I go to any of the classroom and I ask the teacher who is the best student, they always point towards a girl. So I make it as an initiative. If I'm sponsoring students for JAM, at least 60 to 65% of them must be girls from less privileged homes, at least so that they can be able to have hope.
And this impact is not in isolation. In partnership with the Kaduna State government, The mission continues to expand, where STEM project was equally launched in Abuja, reaching more communities and creating lasting change.
At the moment, we are also trying to identify talents, young people with talents, then to be able to see how we can be able to support those particular young people to achieve their dream in life, particularly when it comes to STEM. So we had a STEM Innovation Challenge last year where they submitted their innovative ideas, and the best 3, we just offered them some sort of financial incentive. But going forward, we intend to sponsor some of those innovative ideas they submitted for commercial implementation, and also to identify some of the schools and mentors where we can be able to sponsor them, and some of these mentors to particularly mentor these students. I do a lot of projects with widows, and I've reached out to more than 10,000 widows at the moment. I've also done a lot of construction of classrooms. I've remodeled some classrooms as well. At the moment, the project that is ongoing is between me and Kaduna State Government. That's the Suburb State Universal Primary Education Board. We want to start exposing students when it comes to STEM, digital literacy, same thing with the FCT. But we realize that before we train the student, the teachers themselves must be digitally literate. So at the moment, we have planned to train 500 teachers.
Behind this humanitarian drive is a man of discipline and global experience. Captain Danladi, a master mariner with over 15 years in the maritime industry. His expertise spans marine operations, port operations, ship management, and offshore services. Yet, the pursuit of knowledge continues. Today, Caleb Danladi is a PhD researcher at the University of Plymouth, United Kingdom, a testament to a journey that never stands still.
I was one of the 30 Nigerian cadets or students that were opportune to be sent by the Nigerian government to Malaysia. So I spent about 12 months in Malaysia. First, I went to Malaysia Maritime Academy, Alam, for a period of 1 month. Then I went on board the Malaysian International Shipping Corporation ships for my sea-time training. So upon completion, I returned back to Nigeria, back again to Maritime Academy Nigeria Oran for COC, and I was the second Nigerian actually to pass the Nigerian Certificate of Competency exams. So when I passed, the Nigeria LNG Limited advertised for cadetship program again, and then I applied and I was lucky to be picked. Then I was sent to the UK. In the UK, I went to Wasatch Maritime Academy, which is a faculty of the Southampton Solon University. I graduated in 2009, and I had a foundation degree of science in maritime operations and the Officer of War Certificate of Competency. So in 2010, I secured admission in University of Plymouth. At that period of time, I was still working with Nigeria LNG Limited. So for a BSc Honors in Maritime Studies, I graduated in 2012, and in 2012 to 13, I did a postgraduate certificate in occupational health and safety, still working on board the ships for Nigeria LNG Limited. Later it moved to be called Nigeria LNG Ship Management Limited, and I had my master's degree of science in 2015, and in 2016 I decided to also apply for a PhD in International Logistics and Supply Chain from University of Plymouth. So I passed my Viva in 2025, and I graduated last year with a PhD in International Logistics and Supply Chain.
He is certified under the UK Maritime and Coast Guard Agency. He holds a Master Mariner Unlimited Certificate of Competency, a registered marine technologist, and a member of several professional bodies, including the Institute of Marine Engineering, Science and Technology, the Nautical Institute, the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers, and the Chartered Institute of Transport and Logistics.
I also have professional certification. I'm a member of National Association of Master Mariner, Nigerian Association of Master Mariner. I'm also a member of Chartered Institute of Directors. I'm a chartered shipbroker as well. I'm a member of Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, a member of Nautical Institute of Nigeria, and also a member of IOS, which is Institute of Occupational Health and Safety Management. Recently, I joined Chartered Institute of Personnel Management just to expand my knowledge when it comes to human resources. So that is me. Yes.
Where a child once stood uncertain about tomorrow, now stands with a pen, a purpose, and a path. Where a widow once faced survival alone, now stands in strength and independence. Where communities once waited for change, they now live it. Because real change is not found in grand speeches, but in everyday actions. A sponsored exam, a helping hand. Capt Danladi is at it again in Keti, Piakasa of the FCT, where a life was transformed.
I want to know what I can be able to do to address this issue of girl child education in that community in FCT. And through our need assessment, we gave them a need assessment questionnaire, and we find out that most of the girls there are not digitally literate. In short, some of them have not been to school. So I set up a stakeholders engagement. A normal stakeholders engagement, you bring in religious leaders, traditional rulers, but in this time, we decided to invite all the girls. So we had close to 300 girls in the palace. Let's hear from them. So we heard from them, what are the problems, what do you want to do, and based on that focus group interview, we have over 80% agree that they want digital literacy training. So we are supposed to have started the training, but the biggest challenge we had was venue. Now, for us to use secondary school, you know the way the country is, the issue of insecurity, terrorism. I have to go through the government to apply. So I've submitted my application through the suburb, so I'm waiting for approval now. But the syllabus have been completed. We have the need assessment report is all set. We have all the computers, they are all ready. We have the facilitators, they are all on standby. And the students also who have indicated interest to learn computer, they are all ready. So we are just waiting for the venue now to be approved for us to carry out a project on that in that particular community.
The true measure of impact is not how loudly it is announced, but how deeply it is felt. This is more than charity. This is transformation. This is legacy in motion. This is the Capt Danladi Foundation. Capt Danladi Bago, a hero worthy of celebration and recognition on our personality program Heroes on NTA Abuja.